And, and we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us tonight, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration. And that is none other than my father, you all's brother, student minister Abdul Sharrieff Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast. We are honored with your presence. First of all, before we get started, I want to thank you to everyone who got to see the reels and pictures of my father being at my graduation. That meant a lot to me, Dad. I love you. I truly appreciate that. I wouldn't have been able to do it without your assistance and your constant support. So I just want to thank you for coming to my graduation.
You're welcome. I wouldn't be able to be here if your wife, your mother would be totally offended.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Okay. Well, one of the stories recently we were speaking about, I asked you something about the Ku Klux Klan, and you were telling me how you had actually been, you actually had an encounter with the Ku Klux Klan before you joined the Nation of Islam. Can you let us know about that?
Yes, sir. A long time ago, with Reverend Ben Shea was with Wilmington 10. During that time, they down in it was Wilmington, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. They had them on trial down there for trumped up charges, and during that time, anything black, I was with it. Came out of D.C. We all came down, but I didn't know the Klans was going to be there. But we came down to support the Wilmington 10, and then the Klans was on one side of the street, and we came down, but we didn't back down. God is great. So that was my first encounter.
Yes, sir. And did you know, being from Brunswick, Georgia, being in the South, did you ever have to experience racism and things like that?
All the time. Mm-hmm. Yes. Directly. Down in my home, we used to have to go to a window to get our food, and white folks went to the front. We had to go to the back to a window to get food if we wanted to eat. Mm-hmm. So that's racism straight up. So I encountered that. Then that's when we went to separate school at that time. But my father taught me always to be independent. So I'm saying, so that's why I get that from my grandfather, my father, mother.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. And then we have your parents' names, sir.
Grandfather, John Noble. My father, Ephraim Johnson. My mother, Evelyn Johnson.
Praises to God. Man, Allah pleased with them and bless the womb of your mother and the seed of your father. Thank you all very much. That people are already tapped in, showing love from all around the world. Walaikum salam. Mimi says, ASA Joshua and Daddy. Brother Josh Mason, peace family. Walaikum salam, Sister Naima. And Milani says, hey, Papa. Thank you, Milani. Yes, sir. The next question we have is 2 weeks ago, got the news of the transition of Brother Minister Don out of Boston. You being in the nation, I found some pictures on Facebook, but they were kind of blurry because I was trying to use them to make sure we get those on your page of you and Minister Don. But what is the history of you and Minister Don?
Oh, praise be to God. I think I love Don and the minister for allowing me to have the opportunity to meet Brother Don. Brother Don, in my estimation, is that he's one of the greatest leaders in the nation of Islam. Coming up through the era. He was a businessman, a spiritual man. He was an organizer. I'm talking about a great organizer. And when you speak of Boston, everybody know you got to talk to the great Brother Don. And I call him. He really, to me, ran that city. I mean, he had the connection. So when the minister came in there, oh man, nothing but respect. Don did a great work for him and his family, and the believers that did a great work in Boston.
Oh, praise to Allah. Yes, sir. Salute to his family and all of the believers around the world dealing with Minister Don and the whole situation. We're sending positive energy and love. That I put the documentary on dealing with the murder in Boston, and I didn't know the racism was so prevalent in Boston outside of sports. Now, sports, they always talk about how wild Boston is, the Celtics and the players, getting called all kind of things. When you would be responsible for the minister's security, how did that work with you going to Boston? Did you make an adjustment, or was it just business as usual?
Boston was one of them. I mean, during that time we was doing ministers in and out of Boston, they really was trying to kill the minister. A lot of people don't really know that. And I remember in Boston, the church that the minister grew up in, we went there, the minister went to speak at the church, and people was outside, I mean, crowd, I mean, when we went there, it was so thick. My good friend and brother Joshua, the minister's son, was there. And when we came in and when I went out, I went around to just check out the security, and they were so thick outside. So I told Brother Joshua and I asked the minister, I said, look, this is what we'll do. We put the minister coat on Joshua, his son, because he looked like it. We put the minister hat on Joshua. And then I said, we all proceed, everybody proceed out the caravan. It's like we came in, but the minister and I and Brother Mustafa, we stayed inside. But we moved so fast they couldn't really tell who was it. But Joshua was like the minister. We moved out the side, they moved out, caravans took off and went, and the press and everybody went chasing behind them. And we stayed in the church for a little while. Everybody was gone. Then Lucifer, the supreme captain, now. But we got the minister, moved out. Moved the minister right around, went on smooth, went on to the hotel.
Beautiful. We love these exclusive stories on people's podcasts, Dad. So, yes, sir. So that now you being friends with Brother Joshua, you just set him up to get assassinated. That's a hell of a trap. Why don't you? Why we put it?
But he loved his father so much he's moved into it. That's the part of the job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Praise him still. All right. Sister Melody says yes. Business plus spiritual, so much history. Mimi says okay with the decoy. ASA, Brother Keith Jackson, thank you for showing love. He said peace and blessings, Minister Sharrieff. And thank you to all our YouTube family. All right, our next question is a brother who, ever since I was in the junior FOY, we went to New York City. The first time I had ever, matter of fact, the last time, first and last time I've been to New York City, I was a junior FOY. We go to New York City. You were the supreme captain at the time, and the mosque was there, as Harlem, and all of this. And I kept seeing this brother who was following you all around, doing security, but he was younger. He was older than me, but still younger than you all. And he went by the name of Brother Kevin, and he imitated you all. He acted and spoke like you, and spoke like Kevin did. His, the whole F team, E team situation. What was your memories of Brother Kevin?
Oh man, I think I'll always remember Brother Kevin. As a little child, use the word a little shorter. He was so excited about wanting to be around the minister of security. He wanted to secure the Honorable Louis Farrakhan as a youngin'. And then I didn't know the story till as it's in Naza that when Brother Ishmael spoke about his mother told him the story about Brother Kevin. I didn't know he was a little boy when he was playing with marbles and made him as security, set up the diamond because he wanted to secure the Honorable Louis Farrakhan when he was a little baby. She came through her womb. And when I saw it, anytime the minister spoke Kevin, here come Kevin popping up. I said, where did this little dude come from? Where did Chicago here? Everywhere the minister would go, I looked, Kevin was there, and I would not block him because I saw his spirit. I always opened doors to make sure he got in and for his dream, but I didn't know that was his dream. But I always looked out for the young people, but for Kevin especially, because he was sincere. He wanted to secure the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. So I made doors open for him, and he came in and always, and he loved the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. He wanted just to make sure that he was secure and safe. So Brother Kevin got a part of my heart. Chicago. Yeah, he loved Honorable Louis Farrakhan and was secure and would do damage if necessary. But Kevin,
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. And thank you to everyone who's watching Love All Around the World. People saying, man, lobby, please. Excellent. That speaking of Brother Kevin, Ms. Don, whenever there's someone transitions, I watch you, whether you with your grandchildren, your family, the art, you always step away. And many people don't know this. You have to pray for the family. You go visit them, and you help people in a grieving time. Why is that part of your job description? And why is that important for people who are watching to learn how to do that?
yes, Honorable Louis Farrakhan told me and us that as ministers, we really don't know how to pastor. That's a part of the ministry is being a good pastor. And being a good pastor, you have to deal with grief and you have to deal with the family. And you have to show them love, especially at that time. And I'm saying the Honorable Louis Farrakhan has always showed it to me and us, and we supposed to emulate him, and I tried my best to do that. But during that period of time, it happened to me. I know When you lose a loved one, if your faith is not strong and you don't remember that that's the will of Allah, because nothing happens without his permission.
Yes, sir.
But at that time, when you get hit, this is like in the right cross, you may get a little dizzy for a minute and kind of forget. You need someone to bring you back. And that's the duty of the pastor, the minister, is to always remind whoever it is that it was the will of Allah. And if it's his will, it should be our will. And that's real. Yes.
Beautiful. People bear witness, of course, all around the world, and all praises to Allah. Well, speaking of that of course, not to be sad, but when it came to mommy, the Honorable Minister was Farrakhan called you and had our family around. And I never heard him cry like that before on the phone, and to be encouraging but still mourning and crying for yourself. How important is it for you to, whenever a situation happened like that with you, to have the minister to call and pray for you and your family and uplift you?
Well, I'm telling you, that was my, I would say the Abdul Sharrieff. When he called me right there. I didn't even know you had the minister number.
Yes,
I didn't even know you called the minister because I didn't call him. And the minister called me right on time. And I thank a lot for him. And I thank the minister right now because that was a blow, man. Because I'm telling you, I had already had plans for me to leave first.
Mm.
And I had things set up for your mother to be taken care of when I'm gone. But little did I know it was going to be reversed. So that was a blow to me. And then I didn't know you did what you did, but thank Allah you did it. And the minister called me right on time because I was wobbling at that moment. Oh, I thank Allah for the minister. And when he called me, he was stern. He was concerned, but he was stern because he also knew he had to get me straight. And he said to me, brother, it was the will of Allah. And it should be your will. I'm talking stern. I said, whoa. I said, I didn't even hesitate. I said, well, and it is my will.
Mm.
And I'm talking about, I came back, and from that moment to this very moment, wasn't no crying, wasn't no nothing. Because I know it didn't a lot for me. It still good. I thank Allah for the minister. I needed him at that time, and he came through. And no problem. But sternness, though, not no weakness. At that time, I didn't need no weakness.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Allah, for the Uncle Louis Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Thank you to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Flint, Michigan, saying, wow, he's reading your book, Soldier in the Movement of Christ, right now. Thank you very much, 147 Savage. Brother Mod is putting prayer hands. Brother Barry, okay, Brother Barry only watches when you watch them. Shout out to Brother Barry. Shout out to Omar, 10,000 fearless. Sister Naima, thank you for the super chat. Keep up the great work. And Sister Melody said, wow, all praises due to Allah. Beautiful. All right, the next question that we have for you, Dad, is this because of Sister Naima. She was doing research with your book. Everybody, make sure you get your book, Soldier Movement of Christ, and the other book as well, both with pictures and everything. Make sure y'all support all of the Minister Sharieff's books. But dealing with the minister being at the Great Wall of China, people recognizing you all, and then you actually doing Salat in China. What was that like?
Well, we went to China. The minister was going to speak in China because we was in Saudi Arabia, Mecca, and Chinese representative came there to the hotel and invited the minister to come to China. And we worked it out, and the minister decided to go, and then we went to China. I didn't even know we had no Muslims in China until we went to Mecca. we went there, and they really served us and treated the minister with total respect. And we went to, they invited the minister to Juma in China. Now I'm saying, I don't know how to speak no Chinese. I know minister Chinese all in China. But they showed the minister nothing but love. He came to Juma, went to Juma with the Chinese delegation, the imam over there. And I thought that what the world can all can see how they treat the minister or whatever. Nothing but respect. And the minister was so humble. And we went to Juma, served dinner. And then we decided to go to the Great Wall. I've always heard about it, but I've never been there. I didn't have the idea that we were going to get the opportunity to even visit it. So we went with Celine and the minister and I. We went to the wall. In China, we went to the Great Wall. That wall is long, but we was walking down. We could look over the wall and see the city, and we just over there doing it. Yeah, I heard somebody say. I saw people start looking. The minister was kind of dressed down. We was dressed down. I said, you can hear the word Farrakhan. That's Farrakhan. That's Farrakhan. That's Farrakhan. I said, we way over in China, and people on the Great Wall recognized the minister. And then they came up and they asked the minister could they take pictures. Then now they're like over line. People want to take pictures with the minister. Way over there on the Great Wall. That's how the minister is known all over the world. And he's so humble. And that's what we can learn from him, to be humble. And I'm talking about the Chinese people taking pictures with the minister, but it was a great trip. But they got nothing but respect for the Uncle Farrakhan Nation of Islam in China. That's real.
Praise to a lot. Shout out to all the people in China and over there, overseas who watch people's podcasts. Konnichiwa. And all the good karate stuff. Shout out to Maz for teaching me some Korean stuff from karate. You know, Shorin and Taekwondo. Beautiful. All right, so that I wanted to also ask you, inshallah, once the minister moves the travel ban and we're able to travel again, if possible, will you ever go back to Mecca? Because I would like to go to Hajj. Is that something that is ever possible? If possible.
Yeah, probably yes, because the minister said he wanted to take 10,000 back. But if we get the opportunity to go back when the ban is lifted, I would love to go back and take my son with me, of course.
Want to go, and always me and I always laugh at some of the people, the guests that come on, and they talk about people fighting and all that. So we got to have some tight security with that. And I'm not dealing with none of the smell. I don't know what it's like over there, but we gonna work it out. But did you, as someone who's very picky with your food, what did you eat when you were over there? How did you eat?
Oh, they have American food over there.
Okay.
Good food over
there.
Oh, yeah.
According to what I studied on social media, they got McDonald's. So everything else is negotiable. So I was like, y'all know, allow chicken sandwiches. That's what I'm telling you. Allow McChickens and chicken nuggets. All right. Brother Quran, Alex, Assalamu alaikum, DC in the house. Brother Imam, thank you, Brother Imam Edward, for watching. So Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. Sister Melody says, everyone sees and needs help on trial. She hopes so. These testimonies are great. Thank you very much. I also wanted to ask you, we got a great video presentation that we want to show you all. But before we show the presentation, 20 years, today we are celebrating 20 years of Student Minister Abdul Sharrieff Muhammad being the student regional minister in the South, and for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So we thank him for 20 years. Praise be to Allah. We thank you, Dad. We thank your family. Thank the believers, everyone who, of course, we thank the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan first. But how did you know that you were coming to Atlanta?
I didn't know. I got a call from Honorable Louis Farrakhan. I was going to another city. I don't even want to say the city because they didn't know I was coming. Minister was sending me to another city, and something happened here in Atlanta. He called me to the mosque I think it was a Monday morning, and he said, "Brother, I'm sending you to Atlanta." He ain't asked. He just told me because I was supposed to be going somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I'm sending you to Atlanta," and he was stern too. He said, "You got 90 days to turn it around, or you out of there." I said, "Whoa." He wasn't playing. That was my leader. And that's what he said. And then the next thing I know, I was on a train. On the car headed back to Atlanta. The 90 days, God blessed me. And us, less than 90 days, we turned Atlanta around by the grace of God. And I thank God for the opportunity to this day. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now, that was the other city, Las Vegas. We can have some fun a little bit. No. It wasn't Vegas. Okay. It wasn't Vegas. Yes, sir. And 20 years being in Atlanta, what has been the key to your staying power?
Serving the people. Following the Honorable Louis Farrakhan instruction. That's the key. Everything else falls in place, but to follow his instruction. And that's what we all must do. Follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan instruction. And that I strive to try to do the best I can. I thank Allah for that. I thank Allah for Honorable Louis Farrakhan. That's my longevity, by following his instruction.
Praise to Allah. Yes, sir. We can't thank Allah enough for our time. I'm speaking for the family. Being in Atlanta, we learned so much, ups, downs, and in between. We thank Allah for it all. We thank Allah for the minister. We respect and salute you, Dad. We're so proud to call you our father and to call you our student minister, Abdul Sharrieff Muhammad, being at the mosque, working tirelessly. That everybody who's watching, usually Student Minister Sharrieff, for raising money for other people. But I just wanted to surprise him along with my sisters, Miriam and Naima today. We were speaking. We was like, we should surprise Dad with a surprise for his Cash App. So Dad, can you let us know your Cash App, please?
What? $ Rufus Johnson 52. Rufus Rufus Johnson 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 52. Rufus Johnson 52.
Praise be to Allah.
This is a problem. Nobody give me that.
It is. Sister Naima says, our praise be to Allah for 20 years. Mark Irvin says, the veil of ignorance blinds us from seeing who the minister is in our midst. For the minister, you're certainly blessed to know what the minister is, the Messiah. Brother Imam Edward says, alhamdulillah, congratulations to your success. Brother Damien, all praises to Allah, thank you for your service. Obedience is key. Be more Bigfoot, Nation of Islam is the best. Thank you to everybody who's watching all around the world. We have a brief, usually where we do our commercial break, we want to show you all a video today as we celebrate and commemorate 20 years of service on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from Student Minister Abdul Sharrieff Muhammad. Wonderful. 1 second. Thank you all. And inshallah, y'all gonna let us video so we can ask, Mr. Sharrieff so many more questions about his time in Atlanta. I'm gonna get a tech person one day. So here we go. All right, there we go. 1 second. Here we go. Thank you all for your patience. There we go. Come on and play.
Put your trust in a mighty God.
A call-out, a unifying and important event in the life of the mosque in the Nation of Islam. A call-out is an event when the body comes together in military ranks as they prepare to journey into the community. In Atlanta, it was an event that hadn't taken place in years. The FOI nor MGT had been seen in the black community. It was like the Nation of Islam had disappeared from the city. However, on this day, there was a new spirit amongst the FOI. There was a new spirit amongst the MGT.
We love you, FOI! We love you, FOI! We love you, FOI! We love you, FOI! We love the FOI! We love the FOI!
This bring back, we said the golden years, the golden days of yesteryear. See the such unity, such enthusiasm coming from the FOI and the MGT, working hand in hand to make Ward Bund and make Atlanta the queen of the nation. We intend to rise to the top, and as they say in the song, ain't no stopping us now.
Okay, Dad, we got to stop right there because of copyright on the song.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to just mess with me and my money. Play more than 20 seconds. But yes, sir. But people are bear witness and saying, yes, they remember. All praises to Allah. See that? People, when I say all around the world, people don't know. This is what the person said. Oh, Big Kiss says somebody. This is wait. Oh, somebody. Oh, Big Kiss here from China. Someone in China is watching. So Thank you very much. Kason Thomas, Peace China, thank you very much. Original salute, alhamdulillah, so beautiful. ASA, Brother Braden from Mosque number 74. Thank you, Indianapolis, for tapping in, and people all around the world. Okay, yes, sir. So then on the video, which everybody should watch on YouTube for the rest, but it has music, so we don't want to deal with the copyright situation. What was so important about you remodeling the mosque?
Well, the reason why I remodeled the mosque, like I did by the grace of God, is I wanted everybody to know that I followed the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and I wanted to emanate the mosque around. So if we was to fix the mosque up and fix it just like Mosque Mariam, there shouldn't be no doubt that I'm tied to headquarters. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan. I wanted them to know for a fact. So that's why we did the mosque. Criminal just a Mosque Mariam. That was my motive and reason for that.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And of course, on the video, we see the drill teams, brothers, the sisters, people going into the community. But of course, we see Minister Abdul Rahman Muhammad. Yes, sir, man. Allah forever be pleased.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Why was it so important for you to have him with you every step of the way?
Because I came in on the foundation of Brother Rockman. And that's where a lot of the brothers make a mistake. When you come and follow someone that already have done the work, then you should lift them up. Don't tear them down to try to make you look good. No, I wanted to lift Brother Rockman up because of the work that he has done. And I told Brother Rockman we had a word between us. There's no air between us. So I gave him my word. I said, Brother Rockman, no matter where I go, you go. And that's why in Tuskegee, right now, we have a restaurant in Tuskegee. The hall, the fellowship hall that's in Tuskegee is named after Brother Rockman. The fellowship hall in the mosque here, Brother Rockman. And we had his picture. I asked the minister, could I put Brother Rockman picture? Who puts another man's picture up in the place where they are? But I put Brother Rockman. I got permission from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. I put Brother Rockman picture up there. A lot of people came in, they thought Brother Rockman was over the mosque. I didn't care about that part. I want to honor a man that has served this nation. And that's how we're supposed to do it.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Excellent.
And when I told the minister that what I had done, the minister said, you do that for your brother? I said, yes, sir, brother minister. And he just cried. And to me, I said, Jesus will. Man, Rockman is my man. He helped Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then he helped Honorable Farrakhan, then he helped us.
Yes, sir.
So we have to lift a man like that up. Thank Allah.
Excellent. And thank you for your humility. And that, of course, I don't want to speak too far advanced, but in any new mosque or buildings, the same way you have a fellowship for Abdul Rahman, would there be a podcast for Joshua Muhammad? We work it up. Okay. Yes, sir. All right. I wanted to ask you, speaking of Jesus weeping, you told me a story. You heard me listening to Going Up Yonder, one of my favorite gospel songs. And you told me a story about the minister and Going Up Yonder.
Yeah, we was in Alabama. Minister, they brought the minister, Barber, passed, and they brought him back to his home in Alabama. And the minister came to his funeral and I was with him. That Sunday, the minister went to the church where his family was at. It's the pastor, the Barber family. And we went there, and then that choir that was rocking. And we were sitting there that Sunday morning because the minister spoke at the church. And they sung that song, Going Up Yonder to Be With My Lord. And I was sitting beside the minister and I saw he was just moving. Then I saw the tears coming out his eyes. And he just said to me, he said, they were talking about Jesus, they was talking about him. He said they don't even know. The person they're thinking about is sitting right here. I said, wow. I said, boy, Minister rock when he went up there.
Beautiful. And once again, that people are showing love all around the world. Thank you to everyone who's watching the People's Podcast. Brother Ahmad says he's taking notes. Such a beautiful brother. Long live the brotherhood. Okay, now somebody's going to sleep from China. All right, thank you very much. Alhamdulillah, people will bear witness. Excellent. I wanted to ask you, sir, about 10,000 Fearless. Why was that so important for you to jump out with the 10,000 Fearless, and how did it feel to have the minister, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, come to Atlanta to go to the bluff?
Man, it's very important. See, down below 10-10-15, down below Farrakhan, nation capital, spoke to the world. And he told all of us, go back to your city. And he wanted 10,000 men and women, not just men. He said 10,000 men and women. Go back to our cities and make it a decent and safe place to live. In other words, he was saying we can police our own community. We don't need nobody else to come in our community and police, but you got to be strong and trained, brave to do it. And when I heard him say it, I hear and obey. And that's why. But all of us heard it. And I moved out on it by the grace of God and came back and went to the worst neighborhood. That's where we want to go, where they considered the worst. And we went to some considered the worst. The Bluff at that time was considered the worst neighborhood in Atlanta. And that's where we went. Got a house right there in the middle of everything. I mean, nobody wanted to be there, but we did. And I tell the same story over and over. When we opened the door to the house, that was getting about 10,000 roaches gave us the greetings. but we saw past the roach fault and saw the need of the roach. And we turned that man, we got it, cleaned it up, made it what it's supposed to be. Allah blessed us. And when the whole neighborhood, we changed the whole neighborhood, the brothers and sisters, and we painted the houses. They didn't even believe that. And that's the first time that I know that a corporate company, Home Depot, they financed it. They gave us the paint, they gave us rollers, everything we needed to fix those houses up. And then they sent about 20 of their workers out to work with us. And we fixed the whole community up, painted it, fixed it up. And later I told the minister about what happened. And then the minister was coming here to speak. He told me, he said, I'm coming to the Bluff. And the minister's word is bomb. And he came to the Bluff, to the house, and sanctioned. Reached together. Thank the Lord for you. And then we really went to work. After the minister came, sanctioned, and left, we went to work. And that's why the 10,000 figures is so important. That's why it's dear to my heart, because that's what Honorable Louis Farrakhan said. Not me. That's what Honorable Louis Farrakhan said he wanted. And I intended to carry it throughout this country by the grace of God. 10,000 for, because I already know that they say when Jesus returned, he returned at the head of 10,000 with a sword. God Almighty. You can't have no cowards.
Right, that's right.
All right, I'm going to preach. Whoa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful people bear witness all around the world saying, yes, people are saying they're used to you seeing you next to the minister. Praise be to Allah, such an example. We visited the house. It's a blessing. Man, thank you all for visiting, and thank you all for showing love to student minister Abdul Sharrieff Muhammad. Boom. And people bear witness on the Bluff, and they put in their address and all that good stuff. All right. I wanted to ask you the work of Chattanooga.
Oh, wow. Yes. I want to say to everybody, if you get the opportunity, you can call the student minister, Brother Kevin, that's in Chattanooga. We have a 5-acre camp there with the 10,000 fields. You have about 14 cars, the patrol cars, vans. You have a library. It has the largest water sports in our nation. And most people don't know anything about it. You can go online and pull it up. But if you want to go on a summer vacation and visit, you should visit Chattanooga on our own. Bring your children. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I mean, you got to go and see it. You got it. And you have you spoke on the podcast. I mean, he has his own studio up there. I'm telling you, you got to go see it. I would say everybody, go visit Chattanooga, the 10,000 fields that there. You will not regret it. You should go. Student Minister Kevin is the student minister that's there. And the 10,000 fields are running strong.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Well, that speaking of not only 10,000 fearless, but the unity with the church, why is it so important for Christian Muslims to be united? We'll start with that. Why is that so important?
Well, Honorable Louis Farrakhan told us a long time ago when we was in Washington, D.C. Because we know the minister spoke in more churches than he did mosques. He was building a relationship between the church and the mosque. Because he said, we're not going nowhere without the church. But that's where all our people are. That's why we was given the Quran and the Bible. Because our people are in that Bible. So you can't just go single-handed if you want to get all our people. minister was showing us by being an example. And then when the brother got a couple years ago, the brother got killed at Juma, got stabbed with the knife in
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Juma.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The minister came back. Look at it. Beautiful minister. He said he wanted us. He said we would train. We would train the church. We would train the masjid. He said we would even train the synagogue. And that's all we had to go and train. Just he was ask us. I heard him, and I went to the church. And we went to the church. Started Pastor Bishop Jack and Sister. There used to be Sister Barbara King Church in Atlanta. Now Bishop Jack is over. We went there and we put together a 10-point program. And he brought a lot of us come in and we trained them, all his members. And now we're there and they check. We have the Monster Church is so it's really like it's 15 seats. That's why I said the bishop is so loving his church member. We go over there, have Center Brother over every Tuesday to keep the training going. And now he said that he named his men the fruit of Hillside. That's what on now. Then we went to Bishop International Church I think it's the south side of Atlanta. And Bishop, we put the training in there. He allowed us to come in, brought his congregation, the deacons and the deaconess, and we trained them. And the pastor, the bishop himself, accepted the training. And he personally, when it first started, it's the only church that I know of here. He got the wands and he checked the people. They get checked coming into his church, and he was on the front line and did it himself. So we did what Abdul Sharrieff told us to go and train the people at the church, and they accepted real. We just did training in Cincinnati. We had 4 churches in Cincinnati. Chattanooga wanted to train it by doing what the Abdul Sharrieff told us to do. And that's all we got to do, follow his instructions. They welcome us open arms. And that's what we need to do all over this world. So remember now, they wanted to kill Jesus, but they feared the people. So brotherhood between the church and the mosque is so necessary. And that's what we're doing, carrying out the Abdul Farrakhan word. That's all. So don't hate. Come on and participate. Great.
Beautiful, Dad. Beautiful. And people, of course, bearing witness and showing love. DJ G Smooth. Boom, boom. Absolutely. Yes, sir. We'll definitely bring you into the on the podcast. Thank you very much. He'll tell you. All right. Thank you very much, everybody who's watching. Where is it? You got him started, Josh. That everybody's me saying I got you started. Did you teach it? Sister Melody, how can they just type in 10,000 Fearless of Chattanooga, or where do they type?
Yes.
Type in 10,000 Fearless Chattanooga, it'll come right up for you. And DJ J Smooth, DJ G Smooth, just reach out to me on social media. We'll work it out anytime. All right, my next question for you is Reverend Jasper, very close brothers, and recently speaking with you and Sister Miriam, and you were talking about how you prayed for Rashad, and I didn't know that story. Can you let us know about Muslim pastor and minister connection?
Yeah, Reverend Jasper, I'll tell you, Reverend Jasper is one of the greatest pastors or preachers in this city of Atlanta. When I came to Atlanta, Brother Tony was one of his parishioners, and he was down at Bright Creation. That's the church. That's the store where the minister go buy his clothes. Go buy my clothes. He kept telling me when I first said, "You got to meet my pastor, man. You got to meet my pastor." I said, "Man, okay, all right." But he kept on. So I said, "Let me go meet him." So I went to the church and I met Reverend Jasper, great Reverend Jasper. He got 3 churches, man. I mean, I call it cathedral because he got thousands. And when we met, we just hit it off with spirit. And then he took me into his office. We went to his church, and he put us on the front row, and he preached that Sunday. Then after he finished, he invited me back to his office. And then he told me, he said, "I know it's Abdul Sharrieff, but mostly, some of you remember a long time ago when Reverend Jesse Jackson was running for president, the minister told us that he had to show the preachers how to represent Reverend Jackson when he was running for president."
Yeah.
So when I went to, he took me back in his office, he went back in the back, came back out with a Quran where the Honorable Farrakhan had already signed it and gave him that book. And it was his church that the minister preached in. Look at the minister had made preparation 20 years ahead for me to come behind and meet the great Reverend Jasper. And Reverend Jasper I'm telling you, he opened the city up to me, and I cannot deny that. He took me to all the quote unquote big preachers and the muck, I call it muck in the mud and all that, opened doors for me. And then when my son got shot, Reverend Jasper was in Miami, Florida at a convention, and he heard somebody call and told him that my son had got shot and he was in the hospital. And I was at the hospital. I had no knowledge that he even knew. I was in the room with my son, sitting there. And next thing I know, I seen Reverend Jasper and his son coming, walking in the room. I said, whoa, Rev, what you doing? He said, I heard. And I had to come. He came, he flew from Miami, came in. He said, do you mind if I pray for your son? He came in there. Him and his son, they prayed for Bashar, saying some words to him, saying some words, and told me, do I need anything? I said, no, I'm straight. Just a prayer. And he said, okay, well, I'm going back. He went left and went back, got on a plane, went back to Miami. I said, look at this. What man? Yes, a great man. So that's my man. I don't care what nobody else say. I know what he did. And I thank a lot for the Honorable Louis Farrakhan going. I mean, the minister just everywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank a lot for it. Yes.
Beautiful. Shout out to Reverend Jasper and all the parishioners and hold it down. ASA King Z, Walaikum Salam, and everybody else who's watching. That we want to speak about Michael Jackson. How was that? I know you don't care about celebrities, but the world does. So how was working with Michael Jackson?
It was really an honor to work with Mike, to see Mike. A lot of people don't know these stories. But Mike, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan was at, I think it was California. Mike came, minister went to Mike's suite, and he met with Michael Jackson. That's when I heard Mike tell the minister, a lot of people don't know this, but when Mike hair caught on fire with Pepsi, it burned him real bad. And that's why you always see him with his hair like that, because they operated on Mike. But then he told the minister they wanted to operate on him and go from the inside of his skull, but he wouldn't let them. That's why the pain, he was in that pain. He was taking medication. They thought he was on drugs, but he was in pain. So he was taking medication for that pain, because Mike's hair was really damaged. His head was damaged from that fight. But to meet Mike was just an honorable, humble young brother, and he loved the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and the believers. And to segue into this, Josh, I don't know, did Rashad tell you the other day?
No, yes, sir.
Check this out. The other way, my son shot a call for Uber, and the sister came to pick him up, and she's older now. But the sister, they was talking. The sister was that Michael Jackson hairstylist that my son met when Michael was in Augusta. Michael came to the funeral, and my son was on post him. He was on her, and she remembered. She stopped the car in Miller Street, jumped out, went around, opened the door, and said, "Oh!" And then pulled pictures up with. She said, "I know your father." She knew me. And she had pictures of Rashad. And then, did he tell you the other day at the hospital?
No, sir.
But a few days ago, my son went to the hospital, and he was talking on the phone to somebody about the hairstylist, and he was in a room with a white man in another bed, and he heard my son talking to whoever Shada was talking to, and when he hung up, he had mentioned he mentioned the hairstylist's name. He said, "You were you talking about someone?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm the one that produced the show that she was on." I said, "Look at that." I mean, it's just he met the sister in the car.
Yes,
then he go to the hospital, the man next door, the man that was Michael Jackson promoted. I said, "Is that something, man?" But Mike was part of the family. He still lives.
Beautiful. Yeah. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. People bear witness, saying brotherhood. This is powerful. Excellent. Jim Brown. Yes, sir. Why are we so close to Jim Brown?
Big Jim came from my home, the Wick, Brunswick. Check it out. Big Jim. He'll never forget where he came from. Always was a humble brother. And and I always, every time I went out to LA, Jim gave me the key to this house a long time ago. He said, "You can always have a place to stay." And I never really used that. When I went out, he was there. And Jim loved Honorable Louis Farrakhan and his Farrakhan family. And when I came, he treated me. He had a room up on the second floor. He said, "That's your room. Anytime you come out here." And every time I went out there, that was my room. But Jim was a humble man, very spiritual and very intelligent. And he loved black people. That's my man, Jim. That's why I love Big Jim.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Shout out to Jim Brown, the GOAT of all the running backs.
Right.
People, I wanted to, or not just me, but people have requested I ask you about how do you handle criticism in leadership? People writing letters, people speaking, how do you handle that so others who are in leadership positions know how to, navigate?
I'll be glad to tell you. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan told me. That's the only thing I can do is take my Honorable Louis Farrakhan. That's my mentor. That's my leader. That's my teacher. I want everybody to know it. Damn, who don't like it?
Yes, sir.
Now, to answer your question is, Honorable Louis Farrakhan told me these three things. And he sent me here. He said, patient, and did his hand like this, long suffering, and take plenty. Let me say it again now to answer your question. You want to be patient, long suffering, and take plenty. Just like he did with Reverend Jackson, he did it with Reverend Barry and all his. You never heard a minister come out public and criticize nobody because he took it. And he's the example. If you're in leadership, you're going to get criticized. People going to say all manner of evil against you. That's written when you follow Jesus especially.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the minister told me when he said patient, long suffering, and take plenty. He said, if you can't do that, get out of black people business. He said, because the main one you help is going to turn on you. He said, but you are still expected to take a cursing and give back a blessing. He said, that's how you got to be extraordinary, but you can do it. I watched Honorable Louis Farrakhan do it. So don't tell me you can't do it. But you have to be able to rise above emotion into the thinking of God, because we will definitely try you. But that's the answer. Patient, long suffering, and take plenty from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. That's his quote. And that's what I strive to do, because it's not easy, but it can be done. Thank you, Lord.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. And people bear witness. Also, this is verification of why I'm not labor right now. I'm working on my patience. Working on taking cursing, giving a blessing. So the tents. Now Saviours Day is going to be a tent, and then maybe reflect on some of the pictures that you and mommy have of the tents, the first tent Saviours Day, then another tent. Seeing Saviours Day all these years, what is something that how do you feel knowing that you were there, the original tent of the rebuilding to now all the way to 2025?
See, what I reflect on is what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan told me when we was in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. He said, brother, always look for the handiwork of God.
Yes, sir.
Because he's always there if you look. See, and I watch now when the minister's quiet, and then I think the Zeta Council was looking to find us a place. See, don't get caught up in the emotion. Rise above it into the thinking of God. If God wanted us to be at the Mosque, that's where he wanted us to be. And his servant said, you know what Brother Son said the other day? The minister was so happy because we tried everything else. And he was so happy when we couldn't find nothing to say, let's go home. That's where we're supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
And to see the tent come again, in the beginning was it, now we're going to be there again. I'm going to enjoy myself by the grace of God. If I'm living, I can't wait to go home, because that's where God wants us to be. So rise above your emotion into the thinking of God. That's where God wants us to be. So the tent is not a tent to me. It's our going home.
Yes, sir.
Praise
Yes, sir.
God.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. And that's the spirit that we reflect here on the People's Podcast. That a brother tagged me on Facebook right before we went live, dealing with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan being at Donahue, and he was reflecting on how first the crowd was hostile on the first filming, but then the minister did so well with the question and answer, they stayed back again and did a part two. You were there for the Donahue experience. What was it like to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan win the crowd over in the hearts and minds of people in America and all around the world?
That's why I always, and Supreme Captain Brother Musa used to always say that. Wherever they put my father, no matter what environment or where you put him, watch you come out the winner. That's God. So going to Donahue, the minister was telling me, he said, every environment where you go, it's always a misunderstanding. Because they didn't know and they never heard from him until you watch. What I don't care how hostile environment the minister go in. If they give him the opportunity to speak, the misunderstanding get wiped away. And they say, oh, why? There's nothing like they saying nothing. So they gave the minister a platform, and that's why you see they won't give it to him no more. They get up a little far on the platform, and he got it by the grace of God and watch God's man work. That's what gets me. I just love to see the minister work, and I want to be just like him. I don't care to get jealous all you want. I want to be just like him by the grace of God.
Oh, praise be to the Lord. And I too want to be like Honorable Salute Farrakhan, and I say that proudly. So when people say you think you like the minister, I mean that's basically what I'm trying to be. I aspire to be like that. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. The ma'am Edward says he needed that. Your point there, you're teaching and people bear witness.
Praise be to
The youth movement was a big component to 20 years in the southern region. Why were you always such an advocate for the youth against all odds? And I do mean against all odds. You were always defending us when we were very young, and the drill teams, the community, the pushes. Well, no matter what, you didn't want to put young people out for doing young people things or blame it on our ignorance, whatever. You were Johnny Cochran for the youth. You always defended us. Why were you have such love for the youth and the youth movement?
Because the Honorable Farrakhan wanted us to put the young people out front. Young people, the scriptures tells us, we'll let the old, I hate to say it, but that's what it says, let the old die out and let the young inherit the promised land, because the old set in their ways, not the old young, but the old. And they see young people coming and they feel that the young people gonna take their place. No, make room for the young people. Young people for war, old people for counsel. So I wanted to be an advocate for the young people because I knew what they was going through. And I'm saying, when I found out if you put the young people in the mosque as a punishment, they consider that a punishment. They were glad to get put out. They put me out now, I'm gone. No. Your punishment is you're gonna get put in the mosque.
Yes, sir.
That's what to this very day. You'll find young people can put me out. No. I'm giving you 90 days in, and you better be here every day on time. Okay, oh Lord. But then we save their lives.
Yes, sir.
So don't run the young people away when they come. Sure, they look different and strange. That's okay. Be patient with them. Long suffering and take plenty. And watch the young. They're coming up because they love the Honorable Farrakhan. Come on.
Thank you so a lot. Dan, we have 2 more questions for you, and people are bear witness. Thank you to everyone who was watching. Once again, brother texted and said, your father's cash up again one more time.
Oh, please. Rufus Johnson, 52. $. Rufus, RUFUS, Johnson, JOHNSON, 52. I appreciate it if y'all do something. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for 20 years in service to the Honorable Salute Farrakhan and to the Southern region. Excellent. I just wanted to take this moment on behalf of Sister Sharrieff's children. We were discussing with you all of the families of all of the believers, but all of the families of the protocol, the captain, the secretaries, but primarily the student ministers as well. We just want to thank you all for the 20 years that you all been, because we want to shout out the children, the wives. We thank a lot for all of you for your sacrifice, for sharing your fathers with the people. So definitely shout out to all the families of all of the believers, but the families of the student ministers especially. All right, Dad, we wanted to ask you, I want to just name the ministers, just do a roll call of all the Southern regional ministers, and you tell us why, how they've been able to assist you and help you in general, because we can't do a story for each person. But Minister Terry, thank you for being day one. Brother James, Brother Shakir, Brother Aaron, Brother Daryl, Brother Abram, Brother Larry, Brother Samuel, Brother Desmond, Brother, somebody got the small writing I've ever seen in my life. Brother Aaron, Brother Isaac, Brother Ronald, Brother Alfonso, Brother Mikhail, Sister Sharrieffa, Brother Sean, Brother Jamie, Brother Otis over down in Brunswick, Brother Abdul Sharrieff Muhammad, Brother Kevin, Brother Harold, Brother Conway, and Brother Aziz Muhammad. Shout out to all of them. Yes, sir.
And you left out anyway with no intent. But all those brothers and the mosque and the circle, I thank each and every one of them for their support in the Southern region, for allowing me to serve under the leadership of Honorable Salute Farrakhan. I thank them for their sacrifice on behalf of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. I thank them so much. And the state ministers, that's how we're organized.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
State Minister Brother Darrell is over in Georgia, out of Macon. Brother James in Birmingham, of Alabama. Brother Samuel in Tennessee. And Brother Samuel, who else? Oh, Brother Abram over Mississippi. I think those are the state ministers. I thank you. Hard work to help the Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. And we strive hard. And I want to give a shout out now to Brother Jamie and his staff in Savannah. They became 103 Mosque this past Wednesday. 103. 103, the mosque, another mosque in the southern region. Elijah Mama said through Honorable Louis Farrakhan, when the South rises, it's over. And we striving to rise. Come on, southern region, that's right.
Beautiful. All places do so a lot. Thank you very much, Dad. Thank you for 20 years. And thank you, everybody who's been supporting Student Minister Abdul Sharrieff Muhammad in his efforts. I wanted to ask you, we're about to close now. Thank you, everybody who's watching. I'm about to watch the playoffs because it's the NFL today. I'm already missing the 4 o'clock game, but we got one at 7:30. I think it's a Soul Bowl. 2 of the brother quarterbacks are going to be running around. I wanted to ask you, what is something that you want to do to help, help relax during this time, snowing in and all that kind of stuff? Something you do to stay balanced?
Oh, good question. Because all I do is work. My daughter's always on me, work. I just wish, what I really want to do this year is 25. I really want to take time to go. My brother invited me out to Vegas, Brother Elijah, to just come out for a couple of days. I want to go to Miami because Brother Desmond went down there today. He's speaking tomorrow. He told me it's 73. I said, no, 73 degrees. So I'm going to go see my good friend down in Miami in a few days. But soon I'm going to do all that after Saviours Day. Right now, I'm going to work, but I'm going to relax after Saviours Day if I'm living by the grace of God. So if you know of any place that I could go and just relax, I would look forward to going because all I do is work by the grace of God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, knowing me, I'm definitely going to put in for Disney World Universal. It's like, it's a cool place to relax. Just in case everybody's tired of going. I'm not. So I just let everybody know that. Well, I just want to thank you all. Thank you very much for watching, Dad. I love you. I'm very proud of you. All your children are proud of you. Your grandchildren. Oh, speaking of that, Dad, we always talk about Mimi, Naima, Rashad, but we also want to make sure we give a special shout out to William Jr., Val, and all of their children, and grandchildren, and the great grandchildren.
That's right.
Yes, sir. How do you feel being a great grandfather?
I feel great. It's amazing that God allowed me to live right now to have all those. I thank Allah, but I thank Him most for allowing me to meet the Honorable Louis Farrakhan.
Beautiful. And on that positive note, this is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Thank you all for celebrating our father's 20 years service in the Southern Region with us. And we love the People's Podcast. Thank you all very much.